Welcome back to Boring Gear Reviews. This week we've got the external internal from Empty Head Effects. I'd like to thank Nick from Empty Head Effects for sending me the external internal. Empty Head Effects is a pedal effects company founded in 2023, and they're based out of Germany. The external internal is not super easy to categorize. It's a lo-fi, delay, distortion, fuzz, chorus, ring modulator. It does a lot, and it does all of it in a super unique and really fun and musical way. It's based around the PT2399 delay chip, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you know how much I love that platform. So for controls, we have separation. You kind of want to think of this as the time control of the delay itself. So when it's completely off, the delay signal will be almost imperceptible. It's still there, it's never completely off, but it'll be as close as it's going to get. As we turn it up, you'll hear that separation increase more and more and more. When it's in the fully clockwise position, you're going to hear two very distinct signals going. Next, we have anxiety, and this will control the speed of the triangle wave LFO. So anywhere from like a subtle chorus to almost ring modulating type stuff. And then we have depth, and that'll obviously control the depth of the LFO. Here it gets, subtle, almost vibrato, and then to very aggressive, seasick, warbly stuff. But it always maintains like a sense of musicality that I found really refreshing and exciting. Then we have loudness. It does exactly what you'd think it would do. This is the overall output of the pedal while it's on. And then we have unquieting. This you kind of want to think of as like a gain control for the first preamp section of the external internal. So obviously all the way counterclockwise, you get no distortion, and then as you turn it up, the gain increases more and more until you have like a very nice mid to high gain distortion. Next, we have this self-mod switch. In the up position, it's off, so it's not engaged. Everything's going to just operate based on the knobs of the pedal. When you put it in the downward position, you engage the self-mod function, and here, the harder you play, the more dynamic the modulation will become. So as you dig in, you'll hear bigger dips, bigger bends, bigger warbles. It gets really fun. And then we have the external-internal switch. This will be indicated with the green LED. So here we'll engage a super thick and also very focused gated fuzz. Thick and focused are terms I won't normally use simultaneously with a fuzz pedal, but somehow this manages to pull it off. And even though it's really, in the lower end, it's super thick, like wall of sound stuff, in the upper end, it manages to still maintain like a lot of separation and clarity, and how it's gated works really well with single notes. It never cuts it off too soon. It's not so subtle that you can't hear it at all. It's a awesome fuzz section. And then lastly, we have the stop switch, and this is indicated by an orange LED. And this does what you think it does. This turns the pedal on and off. And that will control everything. So the pedal is completely on and off with this foot switch. The fuzz circuit is not used independently. For today's demo, I'm using my 1989 Orville by Gibson ES-335, and this has Tyson Tone Deacon pickups. Okay, so in this first section, we are going to have the separation around 11 o'clock, the anxiety around 2, the depth just past noon, the loudness is maxed, and the unquieting is around 2 as well. And the self-mod switch will be on, so it'll be in the downward position. And what we'll get here is this really kind of sad, weepy sound. Like I'm playing single notes up high in the beginning, and it really does sound like there's two lines that are kind of like melting and drooping in to one another. It was super cool. And then we're going to engage the Old Blood Noise Endeavor's Dark Star. If you'd like to see a full demo of the Dark Star, click the link right here. And this will be providing a lower pitch pad under everything. One of the things I really love about the external internal is that it's very dynamic, not just with the self mod switch, but just in how you play. The drive circuit in the first section of the pedal is very responsive to your playing. So as I dig in harder, you'll hear that gain get pushed a little more. And then in the second section of this clip, I'm going to engage the fuzz circuit, and you'll hear just how huge and thick and also focused this fuzz is. One of the things I really love is how different each drive circuit sounds. They blend together perfectly, and they are also completely different. What's also really nice is that each drive section responds to the modulation section differently as well. So you get a similar experience, but it also changes quite a bit, which means that the dynamics of your playing and also just the mood of your playing can change with the drives as well. And that isn't something I always feel with drive pedals. So enjoy. Okay, in this next section, we're going to be running the separation knob completely down. So this will bring the delay signal and the original signal as close together as possible. Anxiety, we're going to have about 3, so pretty fast. And then the depth around 2. So this is going to be pretty aggressively modulated. We're going to keep the loudness all the way up and the unquieting or the gain section around 10 o'clock. And here we're going to have the self-mod switch in the up position, so it's inactive. And this will be paired with the Death by Audio Echo Dream 2. If you'd like to see a full demo of the Echo Dream 2, click the link up here. So in most cases, if I have the option for speed and depth in a modulation, I usually don't set it super high. But in this case, I found it to be really musical and rhythmic. The way the LFO moves, it just felt very percussive and super fun to me. And that's why I felt it paired so well with a delay pedal. So there's a ton of versatility in this, and everything about it lends itself to being very conducive to new and unique type of sounds and approaches to your playing. All right, in this next clip, we're gonna really push the distance of those two signals. So the separation is gonna be just about maxed. The anxiety is about noon. The depth is just under noon. The loudness, we're gonna have at 3, and the unquieting is gonna be maxed as well. And then the self-mod switch is in the up position again, so it's off. Here, we're gonna have both foot switches engaged. So we're gonna have the gain stage from the first section and the fuzz running at the exact same time. In the beginning part of the clip, I'm going to roll the volume down on my guitar, so you'll hear how well both of these drive sections clean up. And then as I increase it, you'll hear what a difference is and how aggressive it can be just with your volume control. And you'll also hear the priority of the modulation section and the gain stages based on the strength of your input signal. So when it's quieter and my volume's rolled down, that speed and depth and delay is much more apparent. And then as I turn the volume up and that gain really gets in there, you still hear all of that, but now you also get a lot of the clarity that you want. It's weird, like sometimes when you run modulation and heavy fuzz together, one or the other gets lost. So here the balance is really nice, where I didn't feel that either of them got lost, that you can hear both happening. It was just a great blend. Enjoy. Okay, in this next section, we are going to run the separation completely off. We're going to have the anxiety just about maxed, the depth around noon, the loudness is maxed as well, and then the unquieting around 10 o'clock again. Here we're going to have the self-mod switch engaged, so it's in the downward position. And we are going to be pairing that with the CXM 1978 from Chase Bliss Audio and Maris. And this will be set as just like a nice plate reverb. So because we have the speed so high, this is where we get into some ring mod territory. I think the anxiety or speed control on this goes faster than any speed control on a modulation pedal that I've seen before, which is what allows us to get into like ring mod territory. One of the things I love about this setting is that the sound of the guitar is almost normal. It's like, it's a more or less clean tone with a little bit of breakup. And just because the anxiety knob is up so high, it's almost like nothing's happening, but something is definitely happening. Sometimes when you use like ring modulators or something, it's very clear, like, oh, there's an effect on. But here, the effect manages to be completely in your face and yet subtle at the same time. It was really cool. I did not expect that to happen, but really enjoyed it. All right, and in this last section, we're going to have the separation around 3, the anxiety around 10, the depth at 3, the loudness is completely maxed. We're going to keep the unquieting around 10 o'clock. We're going to have the self-mod switch down so it's engaged. And that'll be paired with the Death by Audio rooms. So here, we're going to have the dry signal completely off. So it'll just be the wet signal from the reverb. And in the first section, we're just going to be using the orange side of the external-internal with the rooms. Then I'll engage the fuzz side and turn off the rooms. And then finally, with everything on the external-internal, I'll re-engage the rooms, so we'll just get that wet signal with all the distortion and modulation from the external-internal. I fell in love with this sound. It's huge and warbly and fuzzy and still articulate and gated, plus the way it pairs with reverb. Was really remarkable. I played on this for a really long time and had just a blast doing it. Enjoy. And that'll do it for the external-internal. To come out of the gate with a pedal like this, which is super ambitious, covers a ton of ground, and also has a very fresh and unique take on things like distortion and delay and modulation, is pretty amazing. Obviously, you can hear how crazy good this thing sounds. But another thing about this is he's doing a lot of the manufacturing himself. Like, I'm pretty sure he's 3D printing his own knobs. He's making these little plates that are custom and sit on the pedal. Like, this has my serial number on it, as does like the box. He laser engraves like these cutouts. And again, like the serial number, like everything is very personal and feels super custom and unique to him, his style, and his relationship with not only his work, but with you, like the customer, whoever would be buying his pedals. I did not really know what to expect when Nick sent this over. I knew it looked great, and a couple sound clips he posted were awesome. But once I got it in my hands and plugged it in and got a feel for what everything did, it really felt like, I know this sounds corny, but it did feel like I'm on an adventure with this pedal. It felt really exciting and fresh and new and interesting, and I didn't know what was going to happen as I was using it. And that's something I say on here a lot, where a pedal can kind of push you outside of your comfort and open your eyes to new things you maybe wouldn't have considered without it. That's something I really adore about pedals and just interesting gear in general. Empty Head Effects crushed it with the external internal. It is super, super cool. I love it. It's never going anywhere, and it drops today. So if you're watching this, head over to the website and pick one up as fast as you can. If you enjoyed this content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I release a new video, which is every week. On that note, thank you so much to everyone who's already subscribed and has been so supportive and encouraging in the comments and on Instagram. Also follow me on Instagram at Boring Gear Reviews. I've hinted at it a few times, and as we are getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, I think we're just like 30 away, I do have something cool planned. So subscribe here, follow me on Instagram so you don't miss what that is. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. Peace.